Well, good day, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday, hump day for everybody. That's all part of the workforce. Looking forward to the weekend, obviously. Some of us are just getting started today. Anyway, Duke's Daily for today. Kind of read over an article that I will post on the Sunday Night Sports Guys Facebook page from what's called Leafs Nation. So if you're a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, you're probably well aware of this already. Come across this in which the title says Mitch Marner wants the world and a $15 million qualifying offer. So as we know, and as a Leafs fan knows, this whole episode with Mitch Marner is becoming to be a bit of a joke now. It's getting past that. Training camps are opening up all around the NHL this coming weekend. Rookie camps are going where you can attend if you're in one of those areas, see some of the rookies of the teams. But Marner is, what can I say? He's making it very hard for Toronto. And his demands, I'm of the understanding from this article, part of it comes from Elliot Friedman, who now has a new show. I don't know if it's a podcast, 31, what is that called? 31 Thoughts. So if you haven't checked that out, it might be worth your while. I have to give that a chance myself. But anyway, the whole point is that, Marner is clearly all about the money. This is a money thing. And, the kid is extremely talented. He really is. But for the kind of money he's asking, I think is a bit bogus. Let's put some time together here, right? It's not like you came touted like Connor McDavid or even Austin Matthews, right? Those guys came with high pedigree. They were going to go high in the draft. And not taking away from what Marner has accomplished so far. He's a good kid. He's a guy you want on your team. But, I mean, as a Leafs fan, do you not have to say, how far do we go with this? What is fair to offer this athlete in terms of the future? Some of the things that we're hearing here, just to take a quote from Elliot, says it is impossible to write or talk about Marner without offending someone. So here's my attempt at a bias-free take. It's tense and it's personal. My belief is Toronto is willing to go to an $11 million AAV, which stands for average annual average, something like that. I'll get it out after a bit, but only if he signs for 7 years. I'd heard both sides might agree to 2 years, then let arbitration sort it out, but a few sources threw cold water on that. I mentioned during a radio hit last week the rumor that Marner's representatives pitched a 3-year contract with a structure similar to the Meyer-Werenski setup, with the third season as high as $15 million. However, I'm told that was several months ago and is no longer relevant, although both sides have continued to explore that kind of an option. I don't sense things are anywhere close. So, I mean, Elliot Friedman is probably as good a reporter as there is in the National Hockey League. Whether you like him or not is irrelevant. The guy is a professional, and he does have his ear to the pulse of the National Hockey League, particularly here in Canada. Elliot's very schooled in all the news in the NHL. So, I'm not a Leafs fan. To me, I could care less how it goes, but it is an interesting topic. I'm thinking, if that could be in Boston. Of course, we are dealing with our own two, Carlo and McAvoy, but I don't think we're in the space of where Mitch Marner is with Toronto. And it makes it really hard because this is a guy that wants to play for the Leafs. Toronto is a tough market, tough hockey market. It would be comparable to maybe the Red Sox in Boston, Yankees in New York, right? Lakers in basketball in Los Angeles. It's like Montreal. Toronto is probably the hardest market in all of hockey because there is a high expectancy to win, right? They sell out continually. Doesn't matter how bad or how good they are, the building sells out. It is the hockey universe, if you want to be right down honest with it. And, I would venture that Toronto, the management in that, they want to get this done, but at what cost? Like, how hamstrung do you want to create your future with big contracts already being signed? They have Riley coming up. They have Anderson's whose contract, which gets mentioned in this article. If they sign Marner to what he's wanting or his representatives, it's going to be impossible to sign those guys, right? And the question becomes, how much offense do you really need? Offensively, Toronto will score goals in bunches, huge numbers. But as we know in the playoffs, you got to be able to hold goals out, and they have not shown that the past few years, right? Being exited by Washington, and then again last year for about the third time in 6 years by the Boston Bruins. And you know what? They're probably going to make the playoffs again, with or without Marner. But their problems still exist. No defense. They've lost Jake Gardner. Some people aren't Jake Gardner fans. Some people are. I don't really know. I don't watch him on a nightly basis to judge his game, but he's gone. Montreal put in an offer for him for 3 years. He declined that to take an extra $750,000 or $250,000 more to go play 4 years in Carolina. So as Troy Bladesy said last night on the Sunday Night Sports Guys, the big market, Toronto scared the shit out of Gardner. I'm getting the hell out of there. I'm not going to another frying pan situation like Montreal. So he's gone to Carolina, and you know what? He might flourish there. It's funny how some people get out of some places and they go elsewhere, and their careers just begin to take off. I mean, the environment has a huge thing to do, and I know Gardner. He was often criticized very heavily, and in a lot of instances, fairly for his play, but maybe at times a bit overboard, right? But that's how we are as sports fans. We do it. Teams I cheer for, I can be guilty of that as well. But that comes from passion. You just want to win. You want to see your team do well. So anyway, the RFA situation broke a little bit with the whole Werenski thing in Columbus. So maybe that begins to get some things rolling here. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting month. Camps are opening. Training camps are opening for NHL teams, and a lot of kids not signed yet. So the whole RFA thing, to me, I don't know if it makes sense. And to those of you who adamantly yell for the salary cap, here's what you got. Here is the results of what a salary cap does. Flies in the face of capitalism at all cost. And to me, you know what? I should be able to shop my services for the highest price. And often a lot of these guys don't get value for their services. They have to undercut. We're seeing that now in football with Dak Prescott, where the Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones, and his son there, Steve, and they're trying to move public opinion against Dak Prescott to take less money because he's the quarterback. Quarterback should take lesser money. They point at what Tom Brady did up in New England. Prescott's not coming off. And, I don't blame him, right? I don't blame Marner in one sense of the word. But when you're in a cap situation like this, it's a different ballgame. Different dynamics come into play with this, right? So anyway, that's the daily for today. Like I said, I'll get this article posted up on the Sunday Night Sports Guys page. We also have started up a Twitter account. So we'll be starting to do some tweets from time to time, kind of roll into that a little bit, start to get the feel for Twitter. And that's in the description below once this gets posted in that. So anyway, guys, have yourselves a great day. Enjoy tonight, whatever your sports are. If you're into baseball, lots of pennant races going on. And, of course, news of everything, especially if you're a New England Patriot guy. You're probably waiting for that news conference that Antonio Brown is going on. The commissioners, Bruins coach, got an extent. Oh, thanks, Michael. Really appreciate that. I didn't read that this morning. Had some personal things that I had to look over first thing this morning, so I haven't really gotten into a whole lot of in-depth stuff for sports. So thank you very much for sharing that. I appreciate it. I'll look into that, and maybe we'll have something to say about it on tomorrow's edition. So, all right, guys, have yourselves a great day off to work to finish up my day. So have a good one, and we'll see you again tomorrow for Duke's Daily. Bye for now.